The room was cold, too cold for September in Milan. The kind of chill that clung to the bones, amplified by fear and cement walls. No windows, just a single flickering overhead light that cast long, unsettling shadows across the concrete floor. Vivi sat against the wall, wrists bound behind her with tight zip ties. Adrian, bruised but conscious, sat nearby, equally restrained. Neither had spoken much since waking up in this locked basement. Their minds were still trying to process how quickly everything had spiraled. The door creaked open. Footsteps, measured, deliberate, echoed as a tall figure entered. Leon Vescari, dressed in an immaculately tailored coat, his dark eyes glittered with theatrical delight, like a man taking the stage before his favorite audience. "Well, well," he drawled, slowly clapping his gloved hands. "Isn't this touching? Both of you. Together." He crouched down between them, grinning. "Welcome, dear children, to your family gathering. I am doing this entirely on my expenses, of course." Neither Vivi nor Adrian said a word. Their silence amused him. "You have no idea how expensive it is to host this proper reunion just for you guys," Vescari continued, standing and pacing the floor like a showman rehearsing for an invisible crowd. "The venue, the planning, the anticipation." He spun on his heel to face Vivi. "How are you enjoying your little Haute pursuit? You see, my darling girl, I've invested quite a lot into this. All those gala dinners, the fashion shows, the auctions, you were the centerpiece. Do you know I even had to pay Matteo to place you on the board?" Vivi stared up at him, her lips trembling, her silence defiant. €1 million, Vescari said, laughing bitterly. And the man folded like a cheap napkin. One envelope and some friendly threats, and voila! You front and center. Then the donation fraud, the leaked photos, the scandal. So much fun, isn't it? Adrian tensed. You ruined lives for your own entertainment. Vescari turned to him with a mock gasp. Ruined? Oh no, my dear Sebastian. Sorry, Adrian. I don't ruin lives. I reveal truths. I uncover how fragile people truly are when their illusions are stripped away. It's quite moving. He stepped closer to Adrian now, eyes narrowing. And you were the most expensive cast member. The conflicted puppet. My prodigal apprentice turned traitor. He crouched again. Tell me, do you still want to play the hero now that the stage lights are blinding you? Adrian's jaw clenched. I'm done playing your game. Vescari smiled, standing back up. You say that now. But you came here out of love, didn't you? He looked at Vivi again. That sweet, burning little emotion, love. It makes people reckless. It's delicious. He turned his back to them and walked slowly toward the door. Don't worry. This is just the first act. We're still waiting for the rest of the guests to arrive. It wouldn't be a family affair without Margot, would it? He paused at the door, glancing over his shoulder. And of course your godfather, your Uncle Dorian. Then, with a smirk, he left the room, locking it behind him. The sound of the bolt sliding into place echoed like a gunshot. In the silence that followed, Adrian turned to Vivi, his voice hoarse but steady. I'll get us out of this. I swear. Vivi looked at him, her eyes glassy, but her voice was sharp as glass. He thinks we're part of his show. But he's wrong. We're not breaking. Not like this. They leaned into the silence together, breath sinking, hearts steadying. Because even in the darkest corner of Vescari's stage, they were not his puppets. Not anymore. The door slammed open with a deafening crash as Margot Cross stormed into the grim, windowless room. The guards were caught off guard. She moved with the speed of someone who had been here before. Because she had been. Years ago. Too many years ago. The metallic scent of the walls hadn't changed, and neither had the smell of fear that clung to every inch of this place. One thug lunged toward her, but Margot dropped him with a swift, calculated strike to the throat, reflex more than rage. Another tried to intercept her, but she was fast and focused. Still, 3 against 1 was never fair. She was wrestled to the ground, her limbs restrained roughly, and forced into the same cold room where Vivi and Adrian were being held. When the steel door clanged shut behind her, Vescari appeared in the doorway like the shadow of a nightmare. He looked delighted. "Well, well," he said, his voice as silk-smooth as it was venom-laced. "The mother joins the party. You 3 are making this quite the charming little family portrait." His eyes flicked to Margot with mock surprise. "Is your detective brother running late for the family gathering? You always were the dramatic one, Margot." Vivi's breath caught in her throat. Her eyes locked on the woman, tired but fierce, older but unmistakably familiar. The same storm-colored eyes. The same posture when angry. The same earrings in a memory once left behind in a childhood drawer. "Mama," Vivi whispered, her voice hollow, as though afraid it might all be an illusion. Margot turned her head to her daughter, and for the briefest moment, the fierceness in her face cracked. "Yes, my baby girl," she whispered. "It's me." Adrian looked between them, stunned. This wasn't a rescue anymore. This was unraveling decades of secrets, right here under the watch of a madman. Vescari's laugh bounced off the walls. "Touching. Very touching." He stepped forward, circling them like a serpent ready to strike. "Oh, Vivi, you poor girl. Didn't you ever wonder why you were told to stay out of fashion? Why your father looked haunted every time you walked a red carpet?" He crouched before her, his voice turning cruel. "Do you believe me now? No. Well, Dorian Fox, your beloved uncle, is actually your mother's half-brother. But then again, your whole family has been lying to you since the day you were born." Vivi stared at Margot, a single tear tracing down her cheek. Her world, already fraying, was now tearing in half. Vescari straightened up and clapped his hands once. "And while we wait for your dear Dorian, let's play a little game. It's called Who Do You Choose?" He drew a pistol and casually pointed it at Adrian's head. Adrian tensed immediately, trying to rise, but the chains at his ankles and the bruises on his ribs held him down. Vescari pointed the gun toward Margot. "Or your long-lost mother?" he said, swinging the barrel back to Adrian. "Or your charming little lover boy?" Tick-tock. Vivi didn't respond. She couldn't. Her heart slammed against her ribs as her vision blurred with tears. Her lips trembled. She was shaking, frozen with horror. Vescari snarled, "Pick now," and slapped her across the face. Adrian snapped. "Don't touch her," he growled, trying to launch himself forward. It earned him a brutal kick from one of the guards. Margot, watching her daughter cower and cry, felt something ancient and fierce rise inside her. This was the moment she'd been preparing for. She had waited 15 years for this war. And now her daughter was finally within reach, and so was the monster who'd ruined them all. The game had started, but it was far from over.